We have come to cause suffering and pain, and to end your civilization with the flames of torment. An elemental cobra to Fred finally. Hello, I'm Sensei the Duck Master, and welcome back to the lore of Ninjago. In this episode, we shall be talking about the original and oldest of the known Serpentine tribes, the Pyro Vipers. Let us start with their history before going over their culture, weaponry, and biology. The Pyro Vipers were originally a tribe of Serpentine who lived in a fertile valley that eventually became the Desert of Doom due to climate change. Here, they built several pyramids. They were ruled by a lineage of 5 kings in relative peace. This peace was threatened when the 2 sons of the first Spinjitzu master, Wu and Garmadon, foolishly wandered into the valley, curious about it. They were captured but released by one of the king's sorceresses known as Asphira. In exchange, she asked to be taught Spinjitzu. After helping her learn, however, Wu discovered to her dismay that she used the power to overthrow King Mambo V. Then Wu and his brother had to use the scrolls of forbidden Spinjitzu to stop her plans and put Mambo back into power. He then sentenced Asphira to a magical imprisonment until her crimes are forgotten. Ironically, she would, due to her imprisonment, be the last of the living Pyro Vipers. As for unexplained reasons, the tribe died out, only leaving their mummified bodies as well as a singular pyramid behind. 1,000 years later, the ninja accidentally awoke Asphira and released her from the prison. After stealing Kai's firepower, she awoke the bodies of the Pyro Vipers, and they served her in her quest for revenge. In terms of structure, it appears that the Pyro Vipers were a monarchy, as indicated by Mambo V. This also indicates that there were at least 4 kings before him. After Asphira's rise, it is possible that they intended to serve her as a queen. However, we are not sure of what will happen due to her defeat. Next, we have advisors, like the individual Char. At the level of soldier, we have 3 classes of equal rank. These are the Pyro Slayer, the Pyro Whipper, and the Pyro Destroyer. Upon resurrection, all Pyro Vipers were given flame elemental power and got assistance from elemental cobras and the giant Fire Fang. For weaponry, the army wielded different weapons depending on their class. The Pyro Lashers usually wielded whips or large flails. The Slayers and Destroyers could wield either copper spears or kopeshis, aided by shields for defense. Some also wielded tiki torches. Other weapons included the scroll of forbidden Spinjitzu used by their leader, and a 2-headed snake spear used by Char. For their biology, the Pyro Vipers before their demise had a biology that was somewhat intermediate with some of the other tribes. They possessed blue scales and hypnotic red eyes, similar to the Hypnobrai, but unlike them, had a non-hooded face, more similar to the Constricti and the Fangpires. This indicates that the tribe was likely the oldest of all. But wait, you say, there are frills, and thus they must be cobras. Firstly, the frills are made of fire, and none of the living Pyro Vipers are seen to have them, not even Asphira. Secondly, many like Char and the Pyro Lashers still lack frills when they are resurrected. Thirdly, as they are called Pyro Vipers, they cannot literally be cobras, as cobras are not vipers, they are elapids. Anyway, their blue scales were turned bronze by the mummification process, and their bodies were covered in bandages. Some also had black skin, like the individual known as Char. Unlike other tribes, the possession of tails seems to have not necessarily been indicative of rank and just varied from individuals, as we can tell that Char is not a general, and Asphira is a sorceress, not a leader. Speaking of, let's go over the different ranks. The Pyro Slayers and Pyro Destroyers are nearly identical, but the Destroyers possess bulkier armor. The Pyro Whippers are a bit different, lacking the Flame Cobra hood, and also usually wear armor. Char is believed to be an assistant, sort of a advisor to the leader, who is in the past royalty, but is currently a Sphera. Despite their impressive powers, the Pyro Vipers were defeated when frozen by Zane using the other scroll of Forbidden Spinjitzu, and their leader was imprisoned in Cryptarian prison. However, it is known that Char escaped sometime prior, and so when he abandoned them, he may have survived or been captured later. From them, we learn the folly of being led by the fires of vengeance, that in the end it led to their doom. Except for Char, which we don't really know what happened to him. In the end, the fires of revenge are all-consuming, and they consume all who have it. I'm Sensei Darkmaster, and join me next time in The Lore of Ninjago.